My name is Dan Brightwell. I'm the chairperson for the Southfield Veterans Commission. Today is December the 10th, 2008. We're interviewing Mr. Robert Lavelle Strange. This is for the Library of Congress, the Veteran History Project. Also in the room is Ms. Ethel Grossman, who is a commissioner with the Southfield Veterans Commission, and also Mr. Tim Work is also a commissioner. Tim is working the camera. So, Mr. Strange, could you give us your full name, date of birth, and place of birth?
Okay. My name is Robert Lavelle Strange. I was born in Detroit in January of 1946.
Okay. Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I was, I knew I was going to get my draft notice, and I figured that as long as I was going to make something of myself. I decided I was going to pick and choose what I wanted. I wasn't going to let them make that decision for me. So.
Sure. Okay. How old were you when you enlisted?
I think I was 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What were you doing before you enlisted?
Well, I just finished high school, and I was going to community college, and I was working at a washer and dryer parts store.
Okay.
In Dearborn.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have any siblings that also served in the military?
Yeah, my brother did. My brother served in the military also.
Older or younger?
Well, he's younger, but he went in before I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Dad highly recommended that he get into the military when he finished high school, and he did.
Okay.
He took the opportunity, and he did.
Okay. All right. What was the occupation of your mother and father?
My mother was a housewife, and my dad was he was a painter by trade, house painter.
Okay.
Then he went to work for Maytag, became the loneliest man in town.
Okay.
Remember those guys?
Yeah, probably a pretty secure job in those days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you enlisted, where did you go, and what was the sequence of events?
Okay, so it was September of 1965. I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Okay.
That's where I went to basic training.
Okay. How did you get to Fort Knox?
Bus.
Bus? A bus?
Bus, yep.
Okay.
I was sent a bus, went, sworn in, I think it was Fort Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Downtown.
Right.
Put you on a bus and send you down to Fort Knox.
Okay. It was Fort Knox where you got your clothing and all that stuff?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. All right. So once you got to Fort Knox, what happened at Fort Knox?
Well, I went through, your basic training.
Okay.
I guess the highlight of my basic training was I became, at that time they used to pick the top performing individuals and made them like platoon leaders. Okay. And so I did well in those respects and the physical part of it. As for my size, I was only probably 5'6" and weighed 130 pounds soaking wet, so I was kind of small. But I was very athletic. Okay, I was very coordinated, very athletic, and I remember my drill sergeant, Sergeant Bethea, and we halfway through the training, we do the PT test. Okay, everybody has an initial PT test and then a final PT test. Well, during the initial PT test, which involves running and some different physical activities and throwing hand grenades and whatnot, and a possible score of 500, I scored 497, which was the tops in the class. So, on this middle of the training cycle, Sergeant Bethea, was up in front of everybody, the whole company, the battalion, and everything else, and he yells out, "Private Strange, I want you up here front and center." And I figured, oh man, I've just been had. I don't know what I did, but whenever you get called up by the sergeant, you're in trouble, But he made a point of saying, right in front of everybody, he says, "I want you to look at this guy. He's the smallest man in this organization, and he outscored every single one of you guys. And if you want to be a soldier, this is the man you got to beat." So it made me feel pretty good. Plus I got, you know, some certificates and some letters that were sent home to my folks and stuff, and that made it pretty proud.
Okay.
So I finished second on the final, and somebody beat me out at the end of the year. I wasn't the top scoring one, I was the second top scoring one. But, it was a great experience, you know.
Good. So okay, so doing basic, did you experience any homesickness or anything of that nature?
Boy, I'm sure I did, you know, but offhand, no, I didn't. You know, I didn't go in with any. A lot of guys had enlistment buddies and stuff, you know. They would go in with somebody, but that wasn't the case with me. But I did hook up with another individual. We happened to be in the same company as from Michigan here on the other side of town, you know. And so offhand, no, I don't recall. Recall that. No.
And obviously you did so well in basic. I assume that the food was okay with you, and the calisthenics you didn't have a problem with.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any trouble with that. You know, I didn't have any trouble with that.
Good. So, how were you communicating back and forth to home at this period of time?
Just letters.
Just letters.
Just letters. That's the only thing we had. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend and a mother.
Okay.
Folks, family.
All right. So let's say after spending time in basic, wait a minute. When you say you were a platoon leader once you scored so well?
Squad leader, they call it.
Squad
Yeah.
leader. Okay. Okay. What you being a 19-year-old? What was that like being so young?
It was I guess it was kind of cool. You know, I mean, here you are. You're the one in charge. You got a few perks out of this. You know, instead of being billeted in the main area with all the rest of the guys where they, you know, rows of bunks stacked double, you know. Squad leader had his own room down on the end, you know. So had a little bit of privacy. So it was pretty cool.
Sure.
You know, and so it worked out good. You know, I think I got along good with the guys. You know. You had to learn to call cadence and stuff, you know. Sergeant, usually he's the one that's, you know, tying hip one, hip two, and all that stuff, you know, and screaming out the cadence and stuff. So, you know, you had to learn that stuff, and it was a neat experience. Okay,
so the thing you enjoyed, you were enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, good. Let's say after basic at Knox, what happened then? Did you ever leave?
Yeah, we had a 1 week leave. My mom and my aunt came down and picked me up and drove me back to Detroit.
Oh,
okay. We came back here, and then I had a short break, and then I ended up in Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay. I'm just trying to recall. Did you have any time off while you were at Fort Knox in that 8 weeks?
Not that I remember.
Okay, I couldn't. Yeah, okay. I remember I went through basic too. I don't think I had any.
They didn't give much in passes.
Right. Okay.
And that was a little bit different Army back then.
Right. Okay. So now you're back home for the, you know, shortly after basic. What was that like being back home? You have to be away for 4 weeks under the strenuous, you know, the routine, and now you're back home for what, 2 weeks?
I don't recall offhand, but it was a very short period of time.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean the time between reporting to the next duty assignment was, you know, very short. I doubt if it was even 2 weeks.
Okay.
It might have been more like a week.
Okay.
And you know, it was great. You know, a lot of catching up. You know, telling stories. And, you know, letting everybody know. And, you know, visiting with friends and family. You know, girlfriend, whatnot. And,
Okay, you're probably in the best shape of your life at that point in time, probably.